All right, hey, it's time for a show. Good morning, everyone. It's cold in here. I'm not turning the heat on. I don't want to. Got my coffee, got my tablet. Okay, and three, two, one. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, September 26, 2019. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Oh, so good. I think there are a few things in life that are as consistently worthwhile as the first sip of coffee. It's always good, right? I mean, maybe not always. Sometimes you go to a restaurant and their coffee is terrible. But even really bad coffee is pretty good. Yes. Oh, well, I hope everybody had a great Wednesday. I sure did. Let's see. What happened? Got a bunch of work done. Had, went to I think I mentioned yesterday. Good morning, Frank. Hope you're enjoying staycation. Went to see a massage therapist friend, and he worked on my neck and just pretty much gave him the laundry list of things that hurt, and he worked on them, and things are much better, especially the shoulder. This was the one that was really the issue. There's still a little bit in there, but I'll go see him in another few weeks. But, it's having a really good massage therapist. And I don't mean someone who makes you feel relaxed, because I know plenty of those people. And they're great, and I really enjoy having a relaxing massage. But this individual, it's painful. In fact, some of the worst pain I've ever experienced has been on his massage table. But his skill is such that what he does might as well be medical. In fact, you could probably make a case for it that it is, because he's helping my body move in the way that it is designed to and should be. It's great. What else happened yesterday? Coached some CrossFit. That was fun. Had a after work drink with a friend who's got a fairly new job. We were comparing some notes, just talking about what's going on with life. He and I do that like once a year. Today I'm bouncing around, got a few meetings. Just keep adding clients. Adding clients. Watching those numbers move in the right direction, and knowing that I'll be able to start doing more with whistlekick soon, which is exciting. Don't forget, on Tuesday, we've got the first installment of Martial Arts Radio Live. That will be at 8 or 8:30. There's a Facebook event. I forget. We're currently putting everything together. Shout out to Sensei Gabe Siu for helping me put that together. Had a phone call with someone yesterday, not long after the show, where this individual came forward with an idea, something that they thought we might be able to do that wasn't going to require much effort from anyone, but might greatly enhance people's enjoyment of martial arts radio, as well as provide some additional knowledge. And we talked about it, and he's going to help me with it, because I'm pretty much tapped out. I've been very honest with people about that. I'm pretty much fried. My brain doesn't have a lot of capacity left, but I'm doing what I can, and we're doing well. So, cool. Well, got some questions. Let's go over them. If you want to ask me a question, drop it below. I'll answer it tomorrow. All right. What's your favorite Bruce Lee book? I'm trying to remember, because all of my readings of Bruce Lee books have occurred quite a while ago. Now, I could just say the Tao of Jeet Kune Do and be done with it. I am not someone who's read a lot of martial arts books. In fact, a lot of the things that we think of as kind of cliche content or media for martial artists, I managed to avoid, not intentionally. They just didn't happen for me. I've only watched a couple of Bruce Lee movies. It wasn't until I did the episode with Mr. Josh Bloom that I watched 36 Chambers. We're going to be watching Ong Bak soon, because I've never seen that. In some ways, you could say I'm a terrible martial artist. So I don't think I have an answer. I think I'll be honest. I don't have an answer for this one. I appreciate Bruce Lee's philosophy. I appreciate a huge, everything about him. But I'm not an aficionado of his work. I'm not a rabid fan. Reading for me is tough, time-wise and everything else. But I kind of push back on the notion that to be a martial artist, you have to be a big devotee of Bruce Lee. It's kind of like saying, if you want to be a car guy, you don't have to go read everything about Henry Ford. It's not necessary. Now, with that being said, from my understanding, from talking to people close to him, from talking to people who trained with him, are related to him, etc., if I had to pick a book, it would be Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Because that seems to be the most true representation of his beliefs, of his philosophies. And I think I would find it interesting what I agreed with and didn't agree with. And what maybe has changed. Who knows? I'm sure we'd come up with something. How is nunchaku pronounced? Why is it so frequently mispronounced? So I pronounce it, based on my understanding of the Japanese term, nunchaku. I've also heard it pronounced nunchaku, which I'm pretty sure is not true, not correct. And then you've got people saying nunchucks or numchucks. It's the same reason we pronounce karate as karate instead of karate, which, would be the Japanese enunciation of it. We pronounce things differently here in the U.S. Here's a good example. I live in Montpelier, Vermont. Montpelier is a French word. Vermont is a French word. Two French words. If I wanted to pronounce that with a proper French accent, it would be Montpelier, Vermont. Right? But it becomes Americanized. It's not necessarily wrong. I do reject the term numchucks as in N-U-M or N-U-M-B because I think that's ridiculous. I'm okay with a sort of English version of the word as nunchucks. But they're nunchaku. I think a lot of us mispronounce a lot of things. And that's okay. What's the point of a word? To communicate an idea. As long as you understand it and the person hearing it understands it, that's the most important part. So, yeah. And finally for today, music can be very inspirational. What songs do you think best reflect the martial spirit? Oh, um, that's a heavy question. So while I'm processing that, one of the most interesting things for me has been doing martial arts with music. It's not something that happens terribly often. I was just talking to someone yesterday who was telling me about a children's class where they used headset microphones and speakers, and they had music at times. And on the one hand, it was a little bit overstimulating for the children, but it was interesting because it kind of filled the space. Music's really intriguing to me. I DJ'd for a long time, and if you can read the energy of the crowd right and play the right song, you can get people to do anything. You can get anybody to come, almost anybody to get up and dance if you build the energy in the right way. And I think martial arts, being so rooted in energetics, just the energy of who we are, I think there's a lot of carryover with music. I've done capoeira, the Brazilian dance-like martial art, and if you're familiar at all with that, music is a huge component. In fact, it's not background. Instead of learning to use weapons, you learn how to play instruments. You become part of the music within the style. And I find that fascinating. And I was certainly not very good at capoeira. Still am not good. Obviously, I'm worse because I'm not actively practicing. But I did participate for long enough to feel how the music was an important piece. Doing forms to music can be really interesting. Doing basics to music, I've experimented with that a little bit, and people's energy level stays incredibly high. So for those of you out there with martial arts schools, consider having like music night. Um, hmm. I think answering this question, we could do it in a few different ways. So if we're talking about music that reflects, Frank's asking, it's not everybody was kung fu fighting. A fun song, but probably not. See, I think there's a couple different ways we can look at this. We can look at the lyrics, and we can look for lyrics that have symbolism that resonate for us as martial artists. Things that talk about struggle or overcoming or energy. But I don't think that's the piece that is going to do the most for us. I think it's the instruments, the background, the orchestra, whatever it would be. And what's interesting there is that different people feel different things as they listen to different music. Oh, there's this news cup. Excuse me. Now that's a bit of a cop-out answer to say it depends. So let me answer the question for me. What music reflects the martial arts for me? I've never thought of this, so I like it. It's a good question, and it's making me think. I think the place that I'm initially going to is classical music. Classical, orchestral music, because you can feel it. It rises, it falls. There's a lot in there. And I think that is martial arts. Martial arts has elements of high energy and low energy, and you can connect them. You can bridge those two areas and a whole spectrum in between. I think that's what I'm going to say. I don't feel incredibly strongly about that answer, but I think that's the one that makes the most sense. I'm going to think about this more. It's really, really interesting. Now, if I was doing martial arts to music, is classical music what I'm going to choose? No. No, it's going to be more modern, higher energy. Yeah, there are going to be lyrics in there. I have pretty varied musical tastes, but when I'm working out, most of what I'm listening to is something from the hip hop rap genre. As long as it's high energy, I'm pretty much good to go. That's what I've learned from CrossFit, is that it almost doesn't matter what the music is. If it's got a good beat, a fast beat, and the music's loud enough, it'll help people keep going. Good questions. So there's your homework. How does music relate to you and your martial arts? If you've never done martial arts to music, even if it's just a form, find a space with a little bit of room, just enough room. Put on a song that gets you going, and see how it feels doing that form. If you don't have forms in your style, do some shadow boxing. Try to feel the music. See how that feels. If you want to ask a question, drop it below. I'll answer it tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday. Woo. Yeah. Don't forget, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. And I hope you'll join me live. Subscribe, turn on notifications. New episode of Martial Arts Radio today, the mindset of the intermediate martial artist. Last week we dropped beginner, today is intermediate. Follow along, there's a video here on YouTube, me driving in a car. So check that out. Okay. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.